Hi there, just before we get into the interview today, I wanted to share with you a quick video from our guest Tom Fitzsimmons from Border Reivers. Sadly, he didn't have internet connection at his showroom, so we couldn't do the interview from there, but he was kind enough to do a video tour for us so we could all see where he works from and some of the cars he mentions in our interview. So yeah, have a little look and then enjoy the interview.
Good morning, Tom from Border Reivers. I just thought before we go live this afternoon, I'd give you a quick tour of the showroom. I think it's safe to say that we probably have the biggest stock of 356s in Europe. We've always got over around 6-7 for sale. I'll just give you a demo of that engine. It's got absolutely no right to start like that.
Hello, how are you all doing? Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you are tuning in from. And yeah, welcome along to another one of our live IG interviews at a slightly earlier time this week. But hopefully, yeah, there'll still be a bunch of you tuning in and yeah, it'll all go swimmingly. Please feel free to give your country a shout out in the comments, and as always, post up any questions and we'll do our best to cover those as we go. If this is the first time you tuned in, then yeah, welcome along. If you've watched our IG live interviews before, then it's great to see you come back. Hello, sir. Good twist. Yeah, I'll just do a quick sort of introduction, Tom, and then we'll be with you. Are you able to twist your camera?
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, my name's Andy. I've worked at Heritage Parts Centre for almost 13 years. My job involves meeting people, sharing their stories about their vehicles and their businesses and their passion for their hobby. This afternoon, we've got the pleasure of catching up with the previous star of the Heritage magazine. You can see below. He's got a background in beach buggies and Baja bugs. This Glaswegian gentleman has travelled the world, set up and sold a huge Porsche-approved body shop, and now spends his time restoring and selling classic cars on the banks of Loch Lomond. Welcome along, Mr. Tom Fitzsimmons from Border Reivers.
Thank you.
How are you doing? Cool. Yeah, massive thanks for joining me, Tom. And yeah, I guess we should start at the beginning of your career, really. Can you take us back to Glasgow, what, in the late 70s, was it? What were you up to?
Just like any other teenager, working for the yeah, that was it. Looking forward to the weekend. Saturday, football, and then Saturday evening, dancing, as we called it. And then recovery Sunday, back to work Monday.
Yeah.
But yeah, I served my time. Old style kind of panel beater. Coach.
Okay.
And that basically took me through the 70s into the 80s. Just learning my trade from old craftsmen, basically.
Cool. What was it that got you into cars in the first place? Or maybe it was VWs back then, wasn't it?
It was just fate, actually. Managed to buy myself an old car, and it needed repaired. And my dad said to me, "I've got a friend in Paisley." He says, "We'll go through and see him." And Dad, being Dad, said, "We get any jobs?" And he was hoping to get as a mechanic. And we said, "No, we don't have. We've got a friend who's looking made a panel beater." This phone is kind of like that. Anyway, no, don't hold that actually. So he took me over and he says, "We've got a vacancy for an apprentice panel beater. We'll give your son a trial period, 2 weeks." And I just fell into the position. I really enjoyed it.
Cool.
I had no idea what a panel beater was prior to that. Everybody knew what a mechanic was, but and I really enjoyed it.
That's how old were you at that point?
16.
Okay, so you weren't even driving, just
Well, it's kind of provisional. I was 17. That was my second job. It was 17. I was that. Yeah.
And you did that for a few years, is that right? And then you went off to Australia?
Served my time in 1980, I think it was. Went to Australia, and it's just what you see on your magazine. Worked for a Porsche dealer in Netherlands and Western Australia, and just loved the whole thing. And that's where I first sort of got involved with the buggies, the Badger buggies, and sent a few kits back. And we built them over there. There was a couple of guys who were running Hogan panel vans and Badger buggies, beach buggies, and I kind of get a bit extra cash building them, welding them up.
Yeah.
Just that kind of stuff. But I really wanted to, I loved it. I wanted to get home, just usual homesick, want to go back to the football, the whole thing. Anyway, we get back and we started building those Badger buggies. Just great fun. Certainly nobody in Scotland had them at the time. And then we tied up with a guy in Edinburgh. He was a Californian, John Forbes, and John, he actually did have a buggy. The only other Badger bug I've seen in Scotland was John's. It was pretty much just standard Volkswagen with a kit on it, which ours were originally, but then we started getting more involved and putting different suspension on them, different engines. And that was a kind of a hobby. And then I was still doing my day job. And then I started my own business in 1989.
What was the attraction with Australia in particular? Was it somewhere you kind of always wanted to go, or you just wanted to get as far away from mum and dad as possible? Or?
No, I've got family in Perth.
Okay.
It was pretty easy for me. It was an easy move for me. Over there, stayed with them. Just wanted to break up the culture. The usual working for the end of the week. And I'd say it's basically, it changed my life. Gave me a whole different outlook when I came back.
Cool. But yeah, I guess what is it about kind of Scotland that you love? Obviously, kind of you chose to go back. Was it just missing home that kind of drew you back? Or you...
See, when you're in your 20s, I mean, you miss your friends, you miss the routine you had, you miss the nightclubs, you miss your football team, that kind of thing. And you want to get back to it. And then you get back to it, you get involved with girls, you get tied down to a mortgage, and your life just goes on. And I've got a good life here, so I've absolutely no regret.
So yeah, you kind of touched on it when you got back. You kind of set up your own accident repair centre, and then obviously you did the Baja kit. Do you know if any of the Bajas are still around? Have you seen any of them?
No, I've no idea. The guys that I was involved with, just lives go different directions, and I've never been in touch with them for years. No idea. And
then once you'd done your own accident centre repair, or you were a manager, weren't you? And then you kind of set up your own place, which then you ended up teaching Porsche technicians.
Yeah, once we get involved with Porsche, approached me and the local Porsche dealer and appointed me as an independent approved repairer. Sorry, Andy, I missed that. What was the question?
That was just going through kind of how that relationship started. Really, obviously, you kind of went from having your own business to all of a sudden you're teaching the guys at Porsche how to do it, pretty much.
Well, yeah, that was a progression. What happened? We did the body shop, and then we were so successful we had to go into bigger premises. When we moved into bigger premises, the office block was in 3 levels, so we had reception parts downstairs. The centre section was reception and accounts, bookkeeping, etc. And the top level was just a big floor. It's like a warehouse. So we had to send all our staff to Porsche and Reading for training, and some over to the factory. And it was really, really expensive. So I got together with Porsche and I said, look, we want to build a training centre for use to use. So they agreed to it, and we trained everyone from sort of a Liverpool, because Lloyd's Auto Body at the time was approved repair for Liverpool. So everyone from Liverpool upwards, Newcastle, even the Scottish Islands, Orkney, they came to our place, and Porsche came up and did their training in-house.
Oh wow! Were you doing what, predominantly Porsche at that point? Were you touching on other marques as well, or just Porsche?
Yeah, we approved repairers for pretty much every insurance company, but the training thing was Porsche insisted factory training, and as I say, it was really, really expensive. So that kind of helped us reduce a lot of our costs.
Yeah. Have you had many cases of a car being too far gone for you to kind of actually fix it, either for restoration or for a kind of accident, or?
Well, pretty much. Accident damage is totally different from restoration. Accident damage is just a value. So yeah, lots of cars just get written off because of cost. Restoration, preservation is totally different. There's cars now, cars have been written off, even that scrappage scheme with the government, because they had no value. But nowadays, I mean, like 944s going for £30,000.
Yeah.
You can take a 944 now and almost restore it properly with the kind of value in them. Frog Eye Sprites, before you would just scrap them, use them for parts. Now they're asking £25,000–30,000 for a Sprite. So it pays to restore them now. So the high value of classic cars does have an advantage.
Definitely. What was your first experience of driving a Porsche?
Obviously repairing them, you've got to test drive them.
Yeah.
A lot of times if it's you've done roof work or anything, you've got to check wind noises, water leaks. So a lot of times I had to take them home.
Okay.
So that was probably the first, take them home and experience them overnight. And it was just like, I just thought it was in a different league.
Yeah.
New BMWs with kind of Rolls Royces, everything. But a Porsche, to me, it just was a perfect fit, basically.
And what was the first Porsche you bought?
First Porsche I bought was a 944.
Good choice.
It was a drunken decision. Me and my friend, he's a salesman, and I was in painting a car, and I had to get it done. So we were across at the pub across the road from me, in between drying. Anyway, we get the car finished, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to stay in the garage tonight. So we had a good few beers, and the next morning, a 944 arrives. One of the boys says, "What's this in for?" He says, "You bought it last night." So that was my first Porsche, and it was a left-hand drive red 944. It was great. It was a good car, but again, you're driving a 944, you're wanting a 911. So I managed to get a 911 SC Targa, and it just looked great. But the reality was very disappointing. But it was a good learning curve for me, because when clients come to me and I've never owned a car, I can go over my experience with it initially. I was really disappointed. Yeah. There was water leaks, there was wind noises, the brakes were inadequate, the heat and ventilation system was non-existent. And I wasn't used to it. And I thought, I don't want this. And I sold it. And went back to the BMW company car prior to it. So I went back to the BMW company car. And the first 911 that passed me, I knew I had made a mistake. So I thought, I'm going to persevere. So I went and bought a SC Coupe, I think it was. Yeah, it was an SC Coupe, white Pasha, black and white Pasha interior with white wheels. And I just fell in love with it. You know, it was never perfect. There was always things that are never going to be like a new car. But ever since, I've never been without a Porsche.
The 944, was that kind of an eBay job, or was that kind of pre-internet, or?
No, that was a friend. He was a car dealer.
Okay.
He'd got it in, and he got it into me. So there was no. I just said to him, I want a Porsche, and I must have.
Yeah.
They must have said, right, I've got one. You have it tomorrow. I remember it was £2,000 that I didn't have, but anyway, that was my first experience.
When you're talking about your family online, you refer to your kids as free-range kids, which I think is fantastic. Have you got hopes that they'll follow your footsteps into something involving cars, or would you kind of steer them the opposite direction?
The reason I use that name, free-range kids, is just for privacy. You know, they should be in control of what goes on the internet. So I just try.
Fair enough, yeah.
And that's all. They're individuals. We've always treated them as individuals since they're born. So I'll go whatever they want to do. If they show an interest, it'd be fantastic. But my son at the moment wants to be a professional footballer, and my daughter wants to be a professional jockey. So
cool.
I'm just going with it.
Yeah.
He doesn't like old cars. He wants me to buy a Lamborghini because heroes get a Lamborghini. That's never going to happen. And I would like him to get into like racing, but he's no interest. Since he's been 2, I think we bought him his first motorbike, and he's very talented. He's a good driver. He can drive my car around the field and things. But he shows no interest at all, which is fine.
That's fair enough. You're there when he wants to do it.
That's right.
What would your words of advice be for someone who's looking to make their way into classic car restoration? And have you got a particular view on kind of apprenticeships versus like college, for example?
I would just say that know what you're getting into. You know, initially, you've got to want to do it. Go and try and do a trial period. And I think if you're enthusiastic enough and you get that across to the garage owner, they'll give you a trial period. And make sure it's what you want to do, because you're going to work for a long time. and if you don't want to do it, it's no fun. But if you get it and it's what you want to do, it's a fantastic job. And college, the garage always had a bad trade, a bad name, because all the good kids were taken away and they got professions, and the sort of I think the word probably was dregs at the time, went into the motor trade. You know, I know it's changed slightly now, and that's why it always had a kind of a bad name. But when we had the body shop, we would take 10 apprentices, or 10 startups every year.
Oh wow!
We, at the end of the year, we'd maybe get one guy that will go through
Yeah.
time. So, and if you can get them and treat them properly and train them properly, within 2 years they'll be doing tradesman's work. And the work they're doing, you don't need to go up and check it, because you've taught them and you know it'll be 100%. So again, it's if they want to go to college, great. If they want to work in cars and this is a thing, I think it's fantastic, because good tradesmen, especially kind of old school guys, panel beaters are so difficult to get.
Cool. Very good words of advice, I think. So your restoration work, you've kind of won awards for some of the stuff you've done. Is there a particular car you've built which you're most proud of, or perhaps you wish you'd never sold? Or
I've no regrets. People say to me, I wish I hadn't sold this, I wish I hadn't sold that. And I say to them, did you get the right money at the time? And they say, yeah. I said, well, what else do you want? No, I've no regrets. I've probably enjoyed most restoration, preservation projects. And I like the way things are changing towards preservation rather than restoration.
Okay. You
go to a car show and everything looks, it's false, because concourse cars aren't how they come out of the factory. And it's nicer than seeing an 0356 patina, you know. where you can see they've sat in the seat and it's crumpled the leather, and it's the piping slightly worn through, the paint's got stone chips. The car's got a life, you know, and I like that, and I like just like honesty about cars. So I've not, yeah, I like the way it's going. I like how people are thinking about, as I say, preservation rather than restoration. We've got a 356 in just now, and it's missing the very original car. It's missing the inserts for the screen, and I refuse to fit new inserts. Because what it is, it shows up the rubbers, the rubbers, and then that starts to show up the old paint, and it just doesn't look right. So I've managed to get an old set that somebody was throwing away, and I've put them in, and it just looks perfect. And that really pleases. I'm not sad, but that pleases me.
I think that's cool. Definitely. On the subject of cars, you've got a ex-Colin McRae Mark II Escort in your collection. Did you ever meet Colin?
I met Colin twice. He came to the garage. He was driving a 500 Griffiths TVR, which I believe is his own car.
Okay.
Purpley colour. He came. We had the TVR approval as well, so he came down for a quote. Never seen him again. I don't know what he did with the car, or if he got it repaired elsewhere. Just had a general chit chat, and then I was out on my bike one day with a friend, and he was friends with Colin's friends, and we went a run, and we caught up with them. Incredible rider. He had a Honda Fireblade at the time, and he had I'm sure it was a Kawasaki, but even just I'm very average on a sports bike, but trying to keep up with him was unbelievable. And if he didn't do rallying, he could have done GP rider professionally. Incredible.
Yeah.
So that's the only stories I can tell you about Colin. Seen him rallying, but just from afar, from in the woods. Yeah.
How did you come across the car?
I knew about the car. Quite a lot of people up here knew about it. And it wasn't for sale. It belonged to Colin's uncle. Colin's uncle had it, I think, 30 years. And it was his uncle that actually lent Colin the car. And Colin was friends with Robert Reid, who went on to become world champion with Richard Burns.
Okay.
They both did a Scottish rally called the Hackle Rally. And apparently the weather was torrential and the roads were almost washed out. And Colin and Robert thrashed four-wheel drive cars. And that's when people started taking notice of Colin. I think he'd just signed for Subaru, 1990 it was. And just after that, Robert met Richard Burns. And I spoke to Robert about the car, and Robert had said he did 2 rallies with Colin's brother, Alistair. So the car, well, getting back to the car actually was put up for auction.
Okay.
It was just a tired car, and I happened to be there looking for a different car. And it came up, and I just thought I would weigh out what I'd want to pay for it. Anyway, I put my hand up for a bid, and the hammer went down. So the car was meant for me. And
awesome.
Since we got it, we've, as I say, it was an old rally car. We've straightened it and got it to the way it was. Group 4 wide body when we got it. We've taken it back to the narrow body, the way it was when Colin and Robert rallied it. So that's really just been completed recently.
So is that one you'll keep, or is it kind of up in the showroom for sale, or?
It's not for sale. It's I carry my hero. You know, I've managed to get his uncle gave me his trophy that he won. So there's a whole package there. I don't know. I've been offered. My intention was when we put it together to do the Monte Carlo on it for a bit of fun.
Okay.
We took it from the body shop to here. It's maybe 30 miles, and it used a tank of fuel. So the Monte Carlo, you're doing like a 20-hour session in the French countryside during the night. So you would need to change the tank, change the carburetors, and then you're taking away from what it is. So I've just decided we'll show it just now, and we'll work out a plan for it.
Yeah. Cool. And yeah, following on from rallying, really, you've taken part in kind of a number of classic rallies anyway, I believe. but not always the most obvious of vehicles. Can you tell us a bit more about what you've driven and perhaps why you picked them?
It's just, it's bounces. We've got our 356 in at the moment. It's superb rally prepared 5. Right? See if I'm doing the Monte Carlo with that, I'm going to start worrying.
Yeah.
So we agreed that we would buy a car. The boy that I did the rally with, David, we halved in for the car. It was a Saab. I think it cost us at the time £10,000, and we went through it, and it's a fabulous car to drive. This was the second time I did the Monte, and you can drive it as hard as you want, and if it goes off the road, as long as we're both safe, we can walk away and leave it. It's not a problem. But when you've got a car at 165, you're starting to worry about the car. You're not concentrating on what's coming, and it's taking the fun out of the event. So that's why we've had a few oddballs. First time we did it was a PV544 Volvo, and then the last time we did it was the Saab, and the Saab's a wonderful car. And this last year, there January, we were meant to do it in the McRae Escort, but like I said to you, we had to rethink it, so we passed on it. But we'll hopefully do it next year. Do
you have to have kind of a vehicle of historic interest to do that? Like with
no, not just that. It's got to be. I think the cut-off date's 1980. Anything before that, it's absolutely fine.
So it's not got to be X-period race car or whatever.
It's not like the McRae, totally different. Still
have you got a favourite motoring event that you always try and attend, or perhaps one you're maybe yet to make it to but really want to go to?
I want to do the McRae. That's a goal. We've got a car that we're prepping just now, and hopefully, if it's going to go ahead next year, we'll get an entry for it. Favourite car events? I love going to Essen.
Okay.
Essen Techno Classic. I love that. And in the UK, I like to go to NEC because I meet a lot of old friends there. But Essen in Europe, I've been to most of them. And I like going to events in the States as well. But in Europe, Techno Classic is my favourite event. Again, it's German. Volkswagen are there, Porsche are there. It's just that's it.
Can you tell us what you're thinking of building for the rally, or is it under wraps?
It's an Austin Healey 100S. So that's they only made 50 of them. So that should get an entry. So hopefully that'll be ready for the event next year.
Cool. Could you tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind setting up Border Reivers? So obviously you've moved away from the body shop, so to speak.
Yeah, we sold the body shop and went into property, and we're doing okay with that until the property crash. But along with that, I still had my collection of cars, and I was going down south. I was looking at stuff, and it was basically out of frustration. You were going down, and people were telling you, the car's this, the car's that, and you travel down, and it's a different car's been described, and it's really frustrating. And I thought, I'm going to do something about this, and that was the initial thought. And basically that's where we are now, from a thought. And when people come, we get people coming from all around the world, and I'm obviously want them to buy the car, but I don't do a hard sell. My most important thing is the car is as they expected, and that's the first thing.
Yeah.
The car as you thought, and most of them say no, it's better. So that's me done my bit. Whether they buy it or something, but usually then when they're here, they're going to buy it anyway. So that's a nice part of it.
Do you actively go looking for stock to sell, or do these kind of cars, do people just phone you up with them, or do they find you?
I used to actively go buy, and then I would get it perfect. I mean, absolutely. At the end of the day, you were selling really expensive cars because you'd put so much time and effort into it.
Yeah.
Now cars tend to find me. That Colin McRae car was an example. I didn't go to buy it, but I ended up with it. Most of the cars now, people phone me. Yesterday, a boy in Edinburgh phoned me about a 964. just word of mouth, and that's a great way to buy cars.
Yeah. Is there one characteristic kind of in the classic cars that you want over anything else, whether it's unrestored or provenance or mileage or lady owner or whatever?
Honesty. I want the car to be honest. If the car got a new engine in 1965 and it's still in it, it doesn't make a difference. I don't want people to take it out, file it off and print a different number on it. You know, I would rather it was an honest car and that was part of its life. It's like me, you can tell my hands get scars, you know, for repairing cars. And the car tells a story, my hands tell a story. And yeah, I like cars to be honest. I don't want over restored. Yeah, I just like to find honest cars.
And you've got, so you still, obviously you do some restoration there. Are you just restoring the stuff you're selling, or do you have customers' vehicles in for work as well?
We started doing a Reivers edition, we call it. It's a 356. It was inspiration. It was a client, a very good client, and he wanted, with a left-hand drive in here, and he wanted right-hand drive. And I just bought one and put it through the shop. And I said to him, well, look, if you like the car, but you want it right-hand drive, let me build you one to your specification. So that's how it came to. And we built this car for him, and it's stunning. I mean, really stunning. And because right-hand drive cars are so rare, because it's just rusted out and they have no value, it's hard to get an original matching numbered right-hand drive car. And if you do get it, you've got to be really careful, because we're just custodians of these cars.
Yeah.
So he wanted all the usual. He wanted it kind of lowered. He wanted the long-range tank. So, in the louvered boot lid. And most people would just buy a louvered boot lid and throw the old one away. So we actually get a skin, and we put the skin on it, so we could retain the matching numbers in the boot lid.
Nice.
The same with the hood, you know, we could have changed the hood, but we kept it on it, and we modified the hood. So he's got a car that he wants. It looks like a probably 356 Carrera, you know.
Yeah.
But it's full UK matching numbers car. And the owner, he said to me a couple of weeks ago, he's got big car collection. He's got 918s and things like that in it. And he said, Tom, 356 you bought from my favourite car. So that was really nice. We're on with that was silver. We're on with number 2. We've got a solicitor in Liverpool. He's commissioned a black one. I think he's going to
cool.
We're going to meet with him next week. So yeah, we kind of choose the people we want to do restorations for. I've been there, you know, people really enthusiastic to buy an old wrecky car with no idea what the costs are involved. And as soon as you start it, there's nothing but confrontation. So we don't get involved with that. We're very, very selective who we do work for now.
So is it 356 is pretty much solely on your restoration stuff?
No, we've got, going through the shop just now, we've got 2 356s, we've got a 911 S Targa 374, a full, that was a dip shell. No, mostly Porsches, but any kind of Porsche.
How many guys you got working there?
We subcontract a lot of stuff. I'll tell you the reason why as well. Customers and staff spoil our business. I know it sounds crazy, but without them, work is really, really good. And I've been there before. The last place I had with 65 staff.
Yeah.
So, although when I started the big body shop, I was on my own, and I was doing the panel beating, coach building, and for the first month, because the painter had handed his notice in, I was painting for the first month. But after that, you employ another panel beater, you employ another painter, and I take a step back. But I'm still getting the business because it's me, it's my name it's on at the end of the day. I'm not physically doing the work. So now, I had a tie up with a body shop, but I've kind of drifted away now, and we've got 2 or 3 different shops who are good at special things. So we tend to just get involved with that and subcontract different bits of work, like chrome plating. We've got an amazing guy that does chrome plating. We've got amazing trimmers. We've got great auto electricians. We've got good mechanics. We've got good engine builders. So I picked the best from all my years of doing that. I take the car off the client, and I just put it to where it's got to go. I get my tanks in France, my long range tanks. I get my wheels custom made for myself in the States, 356s.
Okay.
So I'm the kind of, it's like you say you're going to build a house, you don't physically build it, you might project manage it. And now
Yeah.
what we're trying to do, you know, we take the car in and we hand the car over. So, but we probably keep, at the moment, 30 people in a job. We've just got rid of a driver, well, he kind of retired for health reasons, and we brought a new boy in and we subcontracted stuff to him. So it's a profitable way of doing things.
Yeah. So yeah, I was where I'm at. See, yeah, you're on Loch Lomond,
Yeah.
and I gather, can you have people land seaplanes to kind of come and visit you? Is that right?
Yeah, when you go down to the edge of my ground, it's just a beach, and we've had the seaplane come in, just landing at the shore. We've had helicopters coming in as well. Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
And am I right? You've also got some holiday homes there as well. Is that right?
Yeah, we've got people coming in from all over the world, and sometimes getting them accommodation is difficult. So we decided we'd build this wing and do self-catering. But now, in the last 2-3 years, with internet, most of our stuff, I would say probably 95% of our stuff has been sold online without actual people coming to see the car. That's
Oh, really?
a reputation. So we've just decided to rent it just to the general public. If somebody's got a car in, they'll be offered it first, and they want to come up and see it. But most people fly in, they're collected at the airport, and they're taken back to the airport. It's a courtesy. If they want to stay, they're more than welcome. But if, like I say, things are changing, especially with this lockdown. We sold an awful lot of cars through lockdown, and I think every one was sold over the internet without actually.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a big responsibility, and you've got to make sure the cars, it meets their expectations. A boy in Ireland was worried about coming across, and we said to him, look, pay for the car, pay for the recovery, the delivery.
Transport.
We'll bring it across in a covered trailer. See if you don't like it. We'll take it to your mechanic, take it to wherever you want to go, get it inspected while we're there. See if you don't like it. If it's not what you expect, put it back in the trailer. Your money will be in your account tomorrow. And we've offered that to a few people, and nobody's ever gave us a car back.
Yeah, that's kind of the way to do it, isn't it? You kind of got absolute trust in what you've produced or what you've got for sale, and
Yeah,
you know you can do that and send it to someone and say you can't. Yeah, it's what I told you it is.
Yeah, you need to try that bit harder. Everybody's got to try that bit harder. But I'm confident in the product what we've got.
So yeah, let's just imagine someone's watching this with a garage full of old cars, not quite sure what to do with them. Is there particular things you're kind of buying, or particular things that are selling well for you that
At the moment,
you're after, or?
We're always after air-cooled Porsches, you know, 356s, especially right-hand drive, and everything up to 996. We don't really get involved with water-cooled cars. But yeah, we're always looking for the best examples, you know, or in the case of like 944, we've got so many people wanting us to build them, kind of Singer replicas that we would take restoration projects in there. You know, all we need is basically a straight shell. If they've got cars sitting in the garage, first of all, make sure you've got some kind of carpet under them if they're in a concrete garage, because the damage that the dampness causes underneath is incredible. So secure them, and then take your time, do your due diligence, and they're more than welcome. Anybody that's got a car, whatever kind of car, is more than welcome to phone me, and I'll give them my honest advice, and I'll try and help them. I'll tell them the best way to get rid of it. At the moment, because nobody's allowed to travel, the classic car auctions are doing phenomenal. They're getting incredible results. So, yeah, I say my number's here. Call me if I can help anyone. I'm delighted.
Cool. Is there a holy grail car out there that you're yet to own that you kind of think, I wish I could find one of these?
I had a Holy Grail car, and we sold it. I bought a car in Germany. It was a 550, and
Okay.
it was in bits, and the engine was in bits. And I knew to put the engine together, even then, was probably 70 to 100,000 pounds.
Wow.
So we just put the car together, you know, made it look like a car again. But the engine was still in boxes. We paid 150, and we got just under 400 for it. And I thought I'd won the lottery. That car now is £4 million.
Whoa.
I know. So no, there's no. I don't have any Holy Grail cars. I love just finding honest cars and just making them that bit right, you know, that wee bit better. No, I get a lot of pleasure at it. Like clients coming in with a car and it's sentimental value and they want it to store the way and remember it. And I like doing stuff like that.
Yeah. Definitely. If anyone's got questions for Tom, then ping them up. I've got one or two left, I think, on my list. So yeah, if you're watching there and you've got a question for Tom, let's throw them in. One of my questions, I like some hypothetical stuff. If you could have the opportunity to pick everything up and take it back to Australia, so your house, your business, your workshop, your family, etc., would you go back, or are you you're happy where you're at?
Yeah, I can tell with the hair, I'm a ginger nut. So I'm very comfortable where I am. I stay in probably one of the prettiest spots in the world. We actually bought this and we said to my wife, let's buy a place where we feel we're on a holiday every day. And it still feels like that. We feel as we're on holiday.
Amazing.
And the kids love it. So as much as Australia's beautiful, it's warm, it's lovely, you couldn't prize me away from here.
That's pretty fantastic. To be that content really with where you're at. Do you get back to see family and stuff still? Obviously, apart from lockdowns.
I seem to have got two kids. It's a challenge. They prefer Tenerife, and it's much quicker. So we tend to go there rather than go to Australia. But it's planned. It's in the foreseeable future, hopefully.
Fantastic. Some quick flick through to see if anyone's bringing some questions up. Oh, we've got that. So someone said they love your originality philosophy, which is I'm definitely on board with that.
Good.
Cool. I think we're done for questions. So all sort of leaves me to wrap it up. Really, a massive thank you for joining me, Tom. Hearing obviously more of your stories, really, because we've spoken before about kind of the article and stuff. So just getting a little bit more on that's just been fascinating, really, and very entertaining, and just the fact you're so happy with kind of what you created and things. Brilliant.
Hopefully that people can see that, and they see the website, they see the way we present cars. You know, I'm in a good place, and the cars are in a good place. And selling a car is not the be all and end all for me. You know, when we do sell a car to a client, I know it sounds really corny, but they become friends.
Yeah.
Scotland will tour, they'll come and see me, they'll send pictures of the car, and it was like a community, and it's the most wonderful job.
Do you get a lot of repeat custom?
Yes. I always say to people, I find cars very difficult because I'm very OCD about the cars I buy. When I sell them, I want them back. I say to people, when you're finished with that car, go and phone me. And we've had cars back. Boy in Edinburgh, a really good client. And he's got a short attention span. He loves the feel of a car, but every year he'll change it and he'll give it back. And it's great. You know, we've had cars back, some cars maybe 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
And I know it'll come back again. So we get cars back a lot because of the rapport we have with clients.
That's perfect for you, isn't it, really? Because you know you've done all the hard work on it.
Right, and you know the car's right, you know? Yeah. It's an easy sell next time round.
For people trying to, obviously, if they want to get in touch with you, you're on Instagram at border.reivers, Facebook, Border Reivers Porsche, and then your website, borderreivers.co. Is that right? Fantastic.
And Gmail, borderreivers@gmail.com.
Okay, cool. Drop Tom an email, and if you've got a garage full of 356 right-hand drives that you just itching to itching to move on, then I'm sure he'll help you out. If anyone out there is interested in chatting with myself or Steph, then please, drop us a DM. We can have a chat about getting you on. Massive thanks again to Tom and for everyone for watching. We'll be saving this chat to our stories and our IGTV, putting it onto Facebook, hopefully YouTube as well soon. And we'll see you all soon, and stay safe. Thanks very much, Tom. Have a lovely evening, and we'll speak again soon. Cheerio. Bye bye.